Tamba, Tamba, live on air. Here we are. You're welcome. I've got Rachel Wiffen.
Yes.
And I've got Carmel Hamill from Tamba. Carmel, tell the people what Tamba is, first of all, if you would.
Tamba stands for Twins and Multiple Births Association, and it's a registered charity that has been set up to help any families with twins or multiple births.
Rachel, why would people need special help? Surely, if they have twins or multiple births, they say, wow, I'm 3 times as happy, 4 times as happy. Or are there hidden difficulties that people have to deal with?
There are hidden difficulties. I'm a mum of twins myself.
Wow.
I have identical twin boys. And, you know, we're a little bit unique. We're special. And it is harder bringing up, you know, 2 rather than 1.
Yeah, it is, of course. Yeah, absolutely. That's self-evident, I think. But I mean, in the business of having twins around the house, identical.
Mine are identical,
can you
yes.
tell them apart?
No.
Really?
No, not really.
And you'd be saying sometimes, you're, oh, sorry, you're the other one.
Yes, Daniel and Nathan get very cross if I get them muddled up. And I do get them muddled.
Daniel, did you say?
One's called Daniel and one's called Nathan.
I'll give you a line for Daniel, and you must pass it on to him, will you?
I will.
How old is he?
He's 13.
It's ideal for a 13-year-old. And listen to me very carefully. Think of there's a biblical story about Daniel. He went into a lion's den or something.
Yes.
Dare to be a Daniel. Dare to stand alone. Dare to have a purpose. And dare to have it known. That's a metaphor for life for a Daniel, isn't it? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
So, and have you twins as well?
I don't have twins. I have 5 young children already.
Sweet suffering Moses, you look as though you could be one of the 5 yourself.
No twins.
Whatever you're doing right. Keep doing it.
Good.
Boys, girls, or what?
4 girls and 1 boy.
I had 5 girls, I tell you, in my lifetime, you know. So why were you drawn to Tamba? You're obviously mums, you have a busy life. There's an organisation called Tamba. You say, I want to be part of that. What drew you to it?
Well, I run the group here in Northern Ireland. I'm head of Tamba Northern Ireland.
Yeah, but you weren't always head of Tamba.
No, I wasn't.
What made you say, I know about Tamba, I want to be part of Tamba?
Well, I actually started off as a nurse.
Wow.
And then as the children, I found that being a nurse, that I wanted to, you know, go part-time, and then I took a career break and I started getting involved with Tamba as a volunteer. I would go and talk about my story in the hospitals to people who were expecting twins, and then a job came up and I went for an interview and got the job.
Wonderful. And Carmel, when you got involved, you were a busy mum. So you're drawn to Tamba. How long are you involved with it now?
Well, I've been involved with Tamba. I came into post in May of this year.
Yeah.
Prior to, and I continue to work as a health visitor, as a core health visitor.
Is that your profession?
That's my profession. I trained as a nurse and midwife, and worked as a nurse and midwife. And
then like my eldest daughter, she did that as well.
Good.
Yeah.
And then I did my health visiting and worked in that for, I suppose I've been health visiting now for 16 years.
Yeah.
And I suppose throughout that time I was having my own children as well, so I was busy with them. But they've got a little bit bigger now, and this post came up, and I have a lot of twins in my family circle.
Yes.
And I've always had an interest in twins. So I was drawn to it for that reason. For that reason, and I felt that it was something that I could give a lot to because of my background as well.
But it's, you know, Rachel, it's a matter of physical intervention, physical help more than anything else, because you know there are 2 sets of nappies to change, to wash. Well, you don't wash nappies anymore. I forgot about that, giving my age away here. But it's a matter of physically helping the folk.
And that's why we came up with this project of having Carmel seconded to us.
Yeah.
And Carmel is imposed as the Tamba health visitor. And this project was launched officially last week by the health minister. And that's why we saw a need, that we needed somebody who was a professional and to work alongside me and to support the families within the Southern Trust.
So within the Southern
multiples.
Trust, you go out, Carmel, and you meet the families. You're with them. You're a kind of an early warning system almost for things that are going to occur. You're spotting problems before they arise because you're bringing the experience of Tamba into the house. People no longer feel they're alone, if they did feel that, and you're able to guide them through possible difficulties.
Well, I suppose, you know, my service is 1 day a week, and it's trust-wide. So as a result of that, you don't really have the capacity to do a lot of home visits.
Yeah.
Unless there's a really particular need.
So what would you do in post? What does your 1 day a week entail?
Well, it's referrals can come. Parents of twins or multiples can refer themselves.
Yeah.
They can be referred through a health professional that's involved with their care. So the referral comes in, and then I make contact with the family and just discuss, I suppose, make the contact with the family by phone and discuss, I suppose, what their concerns are, or, you know, what the issues are, what it is that they need some advice and support with. And some of the areas that have come up to date have been maybe advice in relation to sleep, managing their sleep, because you've maybe one multiple who will sleep very well and another one that won't. It could be in relation to starting school. If it's a boy-girl twin, you know, they may go to different schools, or they may be in different classrooms, and these are issues also that parents have, just issues in relation to their general health and development. But so I will make contact with them by phone and discuss over the phone with them, you know, what it is that they need help and advice with.
I understand. When you, Rachel, when you discovered you had twins, how far into your pregnancy did you realise, hey, it's not just one here, it's two?
I had a boy and a girl, and they were all under 5.
Yeah.
And then I went for my scan with my husband, and you know how you're like lying down and that you can't actually see the screen.
You heard the shout of excitement.
Well, it wasn't. It was they seemed to be spending a long time looking at this screen, and my husband was looking, and I'm thinking, what's going on?
There's 3 legs. There's 4 legs. Goodness gracious, there's 2 of them.
And that's literally what it was like. The radiographer said, can you see what I can see? And my husband said, is there 2? And I went, and like when you've got a boy and a girl, you sort of, I was planned for any, it didn't matter, but I wasn't expecting twins.
No.
And we literally, my daughter was being looked after, she was only 2 at the time, we had to get back. And we'd been there so long, we didn't have enough money to pay the parking. And I had to find somebody and say, could you please let me somebody, you know. And then the next day everyone knew, because we made the mistake of telling my 4-year-old at the time,
oh my goodness,
then went to school and
Mommy's
told everyone.
going to have twins.
Yes.
All over the place. Yeah.
So it soon got
Well, tell me
out.
this: did you notice any difference in the one born first? Come into the world first.
Which is Daniel.
Daniel. Well, he's got attitude already. That's okay. But the Daniel there coming into the world first. Well, what difference is there? A significant difference between number 1 coming in, number 2 coming in?
Medically, they would always be looking at actually twin number 2.
Yeah.
Twin number 2, and because of twin
kind of
number 1.
Stress or something.
Yes, and especially in my situation, they were identical twins, and there was a weight difference. There was a big weight difference.
Yeah. What was that weight difference?
Daniel was born £7.13,
yeah.
and Nathan was £6.1.
That's not that bad.
No.
You know.
But I'm glad there was a weight difference.
That's a good fighting weight. It makes him come back.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
So Daniel was born, and I always say it was like he was thrown at me, but he wasn't.
No.
And then the concern was for the second one.
Daniel just sort of didn't cuddle into you and whisper in your ears. He saw Nathaniel coming out, the second one coming out.
Nathan.
He says, hey, Mum, what's this? What's this about? No. At what stage did the competitive thing between the pair of them start?
Started straight away.
You're joking.
No, always inside me, they fought. And I always say this at the twin night.
What's going on in this world of ours?
They, when they're born, they're put in the same cots.
Yeah.
And in the hour before my mum came, they had scratches all over their faces where they...
The 2 of them were at it in the womb.
Yes.
Did you not play them Mozart or, you know?
We tried all that, yes, and read stories and everything.
Doesn't always work.
It's just their characters, and they're still like that 13 years later.
Carmel, what's your accent? You're from this part of the world, are you?
I'm from County Monaghan.
Are you, Monaghan?
Yeah, I'm from County.
We lost a great Monaghan man last week, Oliver Brady. He was a horse trainer. He was a supporter of Monaghan football. He was Shabra Recycling in Castleblaney.
Yes, yes.
They helped me build schools in Africa, Rita and Oliver Brady. Rita Shah, Oliver Brady. But he died after a long illness.
Okay.
But like Kavanagh, Oliver Brady, a mighty man
Yes.
of Monaghan, I
Yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
And that's
Monaghan's
Monaghan.
full of them people.
Ah, they're great, great, great people, I tell you. And one of them exports out into our southern area now in yourself.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So how do people contact Tamba if they want to?
They contact me through the office.
If they Google Tamba, T-A-M-B-A,
If you Google Tamba,
you get you.
you'll get the sort of the
Yeah.
UK, because we have an office over a big office over in Guildford
Yeah.
in down in the south of England. And then if they want to contact me, you just Google Tamba Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And then the number comes up, or you can email me through the NI office.
Absolutely. But the thing about twins, I find it interesting. You know, I understand the simplicity of sperm meeting egg and bing, it happens. You've got a new life. But there's a kind of thing, I'm not going to be beaten here, I'm going to get in there too. And another one comes, bing, bong, and that's it. And it's a huge, it's almost a survival mechanism
Yes.
in the human in the human physiology. That one's not enough, two's maybe not enough, we'll go for 3 or 4, you know, that sort of thing. I don't know what the medical thing on it is, but those born in number 2, 3, these are stronger people perhaps at the end of the day, because they've had to not give up. In the normal, the thing closes down maybe after the first contact, the first conception, but I want to be in there too comes into it, you know.
Yeah, I suppose some of these children, you know, can be born maybe a little bit early.
Yeah.
And maybe spend some time in the neonatal unit. But lots of them aren't. Lots of them are born and go straight to the ward with their parents. I suppose in my role, I would be hoping to strengthen that link between the hospital and the community, and the neonatal unit and the community as well. You know, so that would also be part of my role. But I think there are lots of multiples now that are born, you know, closer to term, and do very, very well.
Absolutely.
But you mentioned earlier on about the competitiveness.
Yes.
And what's very important with twins or multiples is that individuality, and for their individuality to be nurtured, because they'll always have an obvious bond between them, but they need to be seen as individuals as well, because they will like different things, and what one will be strong at, another one may be strong in another area, you know, so it's important that that is nurtured.
How old are your 2 boys?
13.
13 now. Now, what are the unique similarities in them?
I would say they swap. One day one might be very strong and doing something, and then the next day, or might be really funny, telling jokes or something like that, and the other one might be quiet, and then the next day the other one takes over.
Yeah.
Mine are at school together. They're at school over in Armagh, and they're in the same class. And I often wondered whether that was always the right decision. But they're only in second year, and you know, sort of I'm learning as well.
Of course.
You learn through. So it's bringing up twins is an experience, and you talk about twins being strong. But one of the things that Tamba does as well is we encourage the parents to be strong.
Yeah.
Because you suddenly find this voice. I think as a parent of twins, you have to be quite strong, just even when their baby's getting around supermarkets or having a voice within school. And with this individuality, you might start off being quite shy, but I think by the time your children have grown up, you've become quite assertive.
Yeah. So there you are. Are there many multiples being born in our area nowadays?
Well, within the Southern Trust, preschool age, so that's before they start school, we've got 700 multiple birth children.
So does that mean
Just
14
over.
and 1,400
half
more?
that.
Do you multiply that by 2, the
No,
700?
that would be
That's the total.
preschool age.
Yeah,
so
you divide that by 2
You
for
divide by
get
2
the
and you've
amount
got
of
the twins.
sets of the sets of.
So it's very, very
multiples.
high for, you know,
It is
for
all right.
an area of Northern Ireland.
It's the second highest in Northern Ireland. Second,
Really?
the Southern Trust, the second highest. And I was looking at the numbers of multiples for Northern Ireland, and we think that's about 6, or triplets rather. We think that's about 6, and the Southern Trust have 3 of those
3 of
sets.
those.
So the
It
Southern
must be
Trust have
something
half.
in the air, dear girls, I think. something
be.
good about this part of the world. Indeed. So Tamba's there. Do you know, I'm bound to, the thought crosses my mind. You know, 40 years ago, sure, people just got on with it.
Yes, they did.
They did. So
they did.
is it that life has changed to such an extent that people are under more external pressures, that it's not as easy to be totally centered on the children, that they do really need help? Or is the help you guys give them, is that a luxury you're bringing to them?
It's not a luxury, it's certainly a need, and that's why we came up with this, you know, this pilot scheme, is because of surveys of parents talking to us and basically saying what they want.
Yeah.
And you know, they really do need the support out there.
Well,
And listening to what parents and listening to what families or clients in general are saying is so important within our role and within the health service in general. It's so important that we do listen to what people are saying about what their needs are.
Yeah.
But I suppose maybe some years ago, there was maybe communities knew each other a little bit more than they do now.
Mrs. Jones would have maybe taken the pram for an hour or two down
And
the
there
shop
was
and
more
back again.
family support, I
And
think.
there was more family support.
Sure
Now
would be.
people can maybe have to travel for their work, so they could
called the nuclear
they could
family,
work
isn't
in
it?
Belfast, and the rest of their family are in Newry or they're in Monaghan or wherever it is that they are. So, you know, from that point of view, and you know, as time goes by, we do get to know more about maybe, you know, what it is that people need, what it is they need help and support with. And as you say, Rachel, when you have multiples and when you have young children, you do get a voice.
You do.
You know, so you do
Well,
learn
long
to
may-
share that.
Long may all your voices prosper and bring good news. And Rachel and Carmel, and Rachel especially for Daniel at home, we give him again the mantra for life. Dare to be a Daniel. Dare to stand alone. Dare to have a purpose. Dare to have it known. And thank your mummy and daddy for calling you Daniel.
Yeah, but
It's a
you
great
do
challenge.
realise that Nathan's going to be very upset now
Oh.
because you made such a deal over Daniel.
Nathan, I want to tell you something. The world is out there waiting for you, Nathan, to conquer the entire planet. You can be President Nathan of Nepal or wherever. You can be anything you want to be. It's just that old biblical thing about the lion's den and all of that. Nathan, it's no bad thing to stay out of lion's dens as well. So, guys, go well. Take care.
Okay,
Most
thank you
joyful
very
to
much.
see you.
Thank you.
So
Okay,
Google
thank you.
Tamba.